Straight is the path, narrow is the way. Will the Gatekeeper improve your putting game? Let's get to it. All right, hey everybody, this is Brady and Tyson with Golf Ascending, and today we got a pretty cool product that we're gonna review. It is called the Gatekeeper. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click that little button below. We do create weekly golf content, but today we wanna talk about improving your putting game, and with this training aid, we're gonna let you know what our review is and how it can help. So Tyson's gonna tell you how it works, how to set it up, and a little bit more about the product.
Yeah, so essentially what this product is, it kind of goes along with the name Gatekeeper, right? So we got to think of this gate, okay? And what's happening with the gate is there is a ball that swings through the gate. And so essentially what you're wanting to do and accomplish is to get the ball on your putting stroke to go back and forth through the gate with minimal to zero touching, right? So what this is going to do is it's actually going to steady your stroke and you're going to get center strikes more often. So it's essentially going to make your putting more consistent because you know exactly, the pace when it hits it on a smooth strike. So some things that you can do with this, to make it more difficult, it actually comes with 3 sizes of balls, okay? So there's a small one, medium, and a large ball. Now, the smaller ball obviously is easier, to get it through the gate without touching, right? As you get to the bigger ball, it's gonna touch more frequently. Another thing that you can do to increase the difficulty is put the training aid down further on the putter. There's more wiggle room at the end than there is at the top. You can stabilize more at the top. And so if you need it to be easier, move it up, or if you want it to be harder, move it down. And so as you guys get more familiar with the training aid, you get better at it, you start to stabilize more, the difficulty is only going to help you stabilize and make putts, be consistent. So that's essentially what it is. It does come in some pretty sweet packaging. We'll show you guys here what it looks like. Looks very professional. They even give you guys a ball marker. But me and Brady actually we took it out on the course. We wanted to try it out for ourselves, put some good time into it. And we'll take you guys over to the green right now so you guys can see what our experience with it was. So let's go.
All right, you got to see that me and Tyson had some time to practice and use the Gatekeeper. We've also used it at home on our own putting mats to give it a good test. And to be honest, when I first started using it, it really annoyed me. You have to be super patient with it. Like that little ball, it hits the gate all the time and you're trying to get the ball to get right in the center so you could get ready to then do that perfect stroke. And so my first thoughts is like, okay, this takes time. It takes time to set it up. It's kind of annoying how the ball goes back and forth. But as I used it more, and especially when I was out here on the green and not just on my putting mat, as I used it more, I realized that there's something that's helping your mental game when you're putting. It helps you think about something that I feel like most golfers don't think about. and that's their steadiness of their backstroke and through. And like I said, it was annoying for me, but to be a good putter, I feel like you do need to be patient. I feel like you do need to take time on doing that perfect stroke. And this made me think about putting in a way I haven't before. And so even though I started off with kind of not a very good opinion of it, after I played with it more and realized, hey, this is helping me to have a super steady stroke and to get the club back to where it needs to be, I honestly kind of felt like when I took it off and then started playing, just putting without it on my club, Tyson laughed at me, but it kind of felt like I was a pro. Like I felt like my stroke was so perfect, so still. So even though my first initial thoughts was this takes time, kind of annoying, it does, I mean, the patience, you have to be patient to get that ball where, right in the center. But after using it for a little bit, I realized mentally it helped me to think about how still I need to be in my stroke. But then it also helped me just be more steady when I actually used it. So it really grew on me. So let's get to Tyson and find out some of his thoughts and what he thought about the adjustments and different balls as well.
All right, so kind of similar to Brady's experience, this thing was frustrating. The first time I put it on, I could just feel the little tink, tink, tink right off of each end of the gate. And it felt tedious, it was hard. And I don't like hard things. I don't think anybody likes hard things. But what's good about hard things is it teaches you the correct way to do things, right? If you do something hard and you do it over and over again, you're eventually going to be better at it. And once you take, and I almost call this thing like training wheels, right? Once you take this thing off, it's a little bit more freeing. You feel way more confident and, very sturdy. Now, something that I want to talk about, and something that I've had a problem with my putting, is I always rest my putter on the green, on the grass. I don't lift it up and then do my putting stroke. And I've always noticed this with professional golfers, specifically Ricky Fowler. I notice, his putter specifically says Ricky on the back. And a lot of times when they zoom in on that putter, you see the Ricky part. But what's interesting is that when you see him putt, his putter head lifts off the ground a little bit and he balances it and then he does a stroke. And I actually kind of found that helped, right? Once you picked up your putter off the ground, there's no variable of you scraping the grass or, it moving your stroke when you made that first initial backstroke. And once you got that balance picking it up, it was a lot easier to balance that ball in the middle of the Gatekeeper. And so I actually think that ultimately this thing helped me correct a bad habit. So I really liked that about this training aid. I mentioned, after using this for a while, taking off the training wheels, I felt like I was consistently hitting the middle of the putter face like 95% of the time. That you always get a couple that are a little bit errant, maybe a little bit thin, but I felt so much more confident that this was hitting the center of the face than I did before using it. And so, is this something that, am I going to use on a regular basis? I don't know. It is frustrating. I think that's the biggest thing that I take from this is that it's hard. And can I get used to something being hard and practicing this over and over again? And I think if I can get over myself a little bit, throw this in the bag, I really do think this will help out. So that's, my general, thoughts on this training aid. I think it is good. Presentation-wise, came in a great carrying case. Lots of variable as far as, difficulty. So I do like that. But yeah, let's bring Brady back and let's wrap this thing up.
All right, so there's me and Tyson's kind of review and opinion of this training aid here. Another thing that was mentioned earlier, that there are 3 balls, different sizes, and as Tyson was talking about his opinion, I remembered he did have a preference on which one he liked best. So which one did you like?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I actually gained the most feedback on the bigger ball. The reason for this is that it allowed little movement for you to kind of hit that side, and it was almost like shock therapy, like bzz, oh, you hit the wall, So I like that one. The little ball, it could swing a little bit more, and when you did hit it, it was more of a bad move almost, right? Like if you hit it with the little ball, it was like your putting stroke isn't doing very good right now. So I really liked, the fast, quick correction of the big ball. And, what was nice too is that, if you did nick it just a little bit with the big ball, not the end of the world, because you're still hitting it on the center of the club face and nicking it with that big ball. This gate, the size between it is a lot smaller than the sweet spot on the putter.
And I think the setup was slightly easier because it does swing a little bit, and it does have a little backstop that you can pull the putter back to let it sit there. and then push it back. But with the bigger ball, there was less swinging movement. But it is a little more frustrating because you are going to hit it more likely because you have to hit it perfectly. I kind of personally prefer the medium, but actually with any of the 3 sizes, I think it does the job what it's meant to do. It's meant to make you be super careful and still with your putting stroke.
So let's talk about price point on this thing. So this is $100. So it does seem like a lot, and I think even after using it, it's a little bit tough pill to swallow, that amount.
Yeah.
You know, the packaging is really nice, and you know,
it's packaged like $100. It's like an Apple product.
Definitely is. You know, it works though. It
Yeah.
is a good training aid. You know, one more thing that I kind of want to add in here. So Stuart Sink actually uses this, and he is actually a pretty dang good putter.
He's won 2 this year on
Yeah.
the PGA Tour, 2
So,
tournaments.
so he's a pretty great putter, and you know, to think that he uses this and you know he stands by it, you know, it was worth it for us to try it out. So, you know, it definitely is something, you know, maybe look into. If you guys are struggling with stability in your backstroke, if you're not hitting putts on the center, take a look at it. These guys are called AI Golf. It's called the Gatekeeper. You know,
Yeah.
Brady, any other final thoughts there?
I mean, I was also thinking it can kind of help if you're going through the yips. I remember going through a stage where I was just pulling every single putt and I couldn't help myself. But this, if you have that perfect steady stroke, I don't really see how you can pull all those putts. So it could help you when you're in a rut with your putting, which all of us have gone through.
Yeah, so again, AI Golf, this is the Gatekeeper. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Me and Brady upload golf content every week, and we'll see you guys next time.